time to prioritize me. I know it's time to make me my passion, like making you your passion project this year is one thing that is resonating with both me and the people I'm talking to. Um, and we have to look at, okay, we've done this in the past. Why didn't this stick? Like, we can all lose weight. There is no one out there that there's like a staggering, I believe it's 75, 80% of people that try to lose weight can lose a ridiculous amount of weight. But there's also staggering statistics that show like, okay, well, in the first year, this weight regain, and this is a high percentage here, I believe. Sometimes we can, overemphasize, but it's somewhere between 50 and 70%. Uh, and people will take that as gospel. It's like, okay, well, when I lose weight, I know what's going to happen. It's just going to come back. And we've had people come in and have awesome transformations, and they never really grasp a hold of, okay, I did these things. This is the outcome, but they never fully accepted the transformation, right? And those are the ones that, like, the entire time they're saying, well, that this is good, but I mean, I know when I lose weight, it just comes back. One, you're prophesying that. Two, it doesn't have to, because how you're doing it, how we're showing you how to do it, like, this is a different journey. This isn't an oval track with like a long circle that just comes right back to the starting line. You trying to figure out what happened. This is hey, ultimately, I want to be here, and short term, I want to hit these milestones. Right? We talked about that last week before last, was setting a goal, setting an ultimate goal, and then rewarding yourself for those milestones that you hit on the way to that goal. But if there's one reason, and I had this conversation a few days ago, if there is one reason that we see people come in, get great results, and almost feels like, and Brooke can probably attest to this, there's been some clients that have come in the last couple of years that got ridiculously awesome results, and then almost overnight, just let it go. I mean, just let it go. And we're like, hey, what's going on? Like, do you still want this? Is your desire still the same? Yeah. I just. And then, okay, well, this person has dropped 25 pounds, and in no time has regained this 25 pounds back, because it was every day this thing happened. And I wasn't preparing for this, but this thing happened. And as coaches, it's easy for us to beat ourselves up and say, okay, there's something that we did, either we didn't do enough of, or there's something that we didn't have in place in order to be the permanent factor in this transformation. And then every week, like, Brooke and I get on here, and I was like, okay, well, what's the difference in this person and this person who has come in, crushed it, set goals, smash that goal, set a new goal, and is on the way to smashing that goal. And this other person that came in like the same mindset stuff, everything, but just all of a sudden just kind of boom, this either doesn't mean that much to me. I thought this was going to be something different, or what now? Like, I'm here. What do I do from here? And I know from our perspective as coaches, like, we empower and equip for the next milestone and mentally program for the ultimate goal. And the one thing I keep coming back to is, like, the number one reason that, people come in, they experience like weight drops, and they experience weight regain, is simply for two reasons. One is physiologically, and the next is psychologically, or like mental programming. And the low hanging fruit here is definitely going to be the physiological side of things. So let's break this down, like what our body needs in order to transform. Well, we need to drop body fat. We need to drop weight via body fat, and we need to either retain lean body mass, muscle that you have on your bones right now, or gain more of that lean body mass. What people typically do is they'll focus on either all fitness or all nutrition, and they'll experience some loss, but that loss won't stay. So from just the perspective of a biological perspective here, when you only focus on nutrition for weight loss, then you lose weight. Typically it's from muscle mass, just depleting muscle mass. Your body doesn't need it. It needs energy. And if you're not feeding it enough energy, it will definitely pull from your muscle first, because that's where your body's requirement for the most energy comes from. Or you'll have the people that only focus on the fitness side. And the fitness side, like, okay, they're working out, they're living in the gym, they're seeing and feeling some difference, but they haven't really paired that with a proper nutrition track. So what happens when all this work they're doing and they're not really seeing, or seeing the results of their, the fruit of their labor in the mirror? Well, it's really deflating to know that you're spending 7 hours in the gym a week and you're not really looking any better. You're feeling great, you've got more energy maybe, but like, you get to that, well, what's the point? Like, I worked out, I did that thing, I went to classes, and it just didn't work for me. It didn't do what I wanted it to. So you have to have that ultimate pairing for that benefit of transformation to occur. And I would argue you would also have that third layer of accountability, support, encouragement. This comes from peers and it comes from coaches, like experts. So that's the physiological aspect of it. And most people are like, yeah, that makes sense. It totally makes sense. You need to focus on fitness and you need to focus on nutrition, because one does something the other one can't. Okay, that all makes sense. But if we go a level deeper, and this is something I've spent a lot of time thinking about, ruminating on, talking to other coaches about, mentors. And what I've really come down to is like, okay, this has to be the deciding factor, not just like the components of transformation, but a true transformation. And where this is, like, where we go from change to transformation. And transformation is like a thorough or dramatic change in form or appearance. But we also know it's not just about what something looks like. It's about this thing has changed from one thing to another. A transformation does not have a reversion, right? A butterfly doesn't turn back into a caterpillar after a while. What is the thing that has changed for, and I love the analogy of the butterfly. For one, yes, this thing has turned from a worm, essentially, with legs, to this beautiful butterfly through this transformative process. When this butterfly came out of the chrysalis, did it crawl back down onto the ground and now it just has wings? Can't figure out what to do with them? No. There's been a transformation in not only its body, but also its mind. So in experiencing that transformation, they have become a new thing, meaning that their identity changed. Tony Robbins would say this: if you're a smoker and someone walked up to you and you don't smoke anymore, someone walked up to you and said, "Hey, do you want a cigarette?" And you would say, "No." And they said, "Why not?" "Because I don't smoke." That's the hallmark. That would be the response of someone that has smoked and doesn't smoke anymore, right? They've changed their identity from "I'm a smoker" to "I don't smoke." If you come up to someone that hasn't stepped into that new identity, they're going to say, when you walk up to them and say, hey, do you want a cigarette? They're going to say, I don't know. What brand is it? Like, I only smoke this certain brand. Well, I'm trying to quit. I'm trying to quit. You can have that identity of trying to quit as well, right? So there's like that third part of smoking. I'm trying to quit, and I'm not a smoker. So when we look at that from the perspective of fitness, there has to be a time in your fitness journey to where you decide to take on the identity required for you to have the things you want, right? It doesn't necessarily mean you have to change everything about you, but everything you've done up to this point, all the decisions you've made, all the times that you've either gone to the gym, not gone to the gym, ate this specific type of food, could only say, yes to a food when it was shoved in front of you, if it was like your favorite, whatever. At some point, for you to experience a transformation, it's going to require you to step into a new identity, an identity that it has the underpinnings of specific habits. You've already made a decision that makes all these other decisions for you. So if you are, if the now you would be tempted by something, what is the version of you that wouldn't be tempted by it? And I can go a little bit deeper into this with a strategy that I had a lady on a call last year, and she was kind of saying the same thing as like, I know what's going to happen. And, I just can't say no when this certain food's in front of me. I can't say no when this happens or when in-laws come into town, whatever. And I said, okay, well, think about this. What if you're out at a mall somewhere and your husband's nowhere around? This dude walks up to you and says, hey, I'm just visiting town. I'm only here for a couple of days, but I saw you across the way and I wanted to see what you were doing tonight. And maybe after we go out, we could pop over to my place and at the Four Seasons that I got tonight, and we can check out their hot tub. Like, what would you say to that? And she was like, well, I'm married. And I would say, no, thank you. It's like, what if, why? Do you want, like, this could be a magical night with this dude. He's going to put you in his Ferrari, take you to the Four Seasons, wine and dine, and whatever happens, only get between you and him. No, I wouldn't want that. And I finally got her to the point where she was like, I would say no, absolutely not, for whatever reason. Okay, great. So you're saying that you would choose your husband sitting on the couch right now, eating Cheetos, watching the game, versus this stud in front of you with his Ferrari and his penthouse at the Four Seasons and his hot tub. It's like you would choose that over this right now. Yes. And so we had her adopt that strategy. Is like, okay, well, it's either this right now in front of you, and you can dismiss it with with as much prejudice as possible, and you can say, I see this in front of me, but I want like that. Like, I'm in love with my husband and I'm choosing that over this. If you take that same approach when someone sits, like, I think her mother-in-law will come to town and bring a bunch of crap, right? And that was a conversation that I had, and it finally clicked for her that, you know what, if I did approach these things as, okay, well, here's this thing, I don't want this thing right now. Like, I want that thing. Like, that thing's not here right now, but I want that more than this in front of me. Okay, so that's a long way to get around to transformation. If we were saying transformation is a change in not only body but mind, we're also saying that it requires the underpinning of habits that are formed over time. And those habits being formed over time are executed in a consistent way, that there really is no gray area, because you're laser focused. You're not laser focused on, these fads or just change. You're laser focused on becoming who you need to become to have what you want. So I hope someone grabbed a hold of that, because it was freaking gold. And the fact that this is something that I've been honing for a while. Like I'll probably have another layer of that like one day, but it definitely makes sense. Doesn't it make sense for you to look at the people around you and say, "Oh, I remember when she came in, she went on that program and she lost 30, 40, 50 pounds, and she looked great. She said she felt great and her life had never been better." If that was the case, why wasn't she able to keep it off? Fortunately, our approach isn't just take food, take food, take food, take food. Our approach isn't a focus on how much punishment and suffering you can withstand in order to have what you want. There's gonna be sometimes we're eating less, sometimes you're eating more. The ultimate goal is to have you understanding that food is a leverage ultimately to the training that you're doing consistently, and the steps that you're hitting consistently, and the water that you're drinking consistently, right? That's why we harp on consistent daily execution, CDE, every single day, because we know that the more you do this, the more you reinforce this, the easier it's going to be to stay on track, no matter what is being thrown at you. But it only takes one decision. It takes the decision of who I was, who I am. Like, I'm not happy with what I see in the mirror, and I'm ready to do what it takes to change that, and then transform into like what I need to become to have what I want. So this is definitely something we've talked about quite a bit. Definitely something I'm passionate about. I mean, over the course of the next few days, just think about the word transformation, dig into that, and see what actually occurs when something is transformed. And like I said, I love the analogy of the butterfly, simply because if the butterfly's mind, like mental state, did not change, mental programming even never changed, it would have come out of the chrysalis and walked right back down the tree and crawled around, walked around on the dirt. But that's not what happened. There was a transformation that occurred there, and that became a brand new creature, which I think is pretty awesome, not just because of the analogy that I'm using, but just like that's an awesome marvel of creation. All right, so I talked for an hour and 45 minutes, I believe. Let's come off mute and tell me what your thoughts are. Is this been helpful, enlightening? Is this the first time you've heard something like this?
I love the caterpillar and butterfly analogy. I don't know that I've ever heard you say that. And if I have, then oops. But I like that.
Yeah.
You made a comment before about like, is anybody getting this? And I can't tell if the ladies are or not because they're not on video. But like, I definitely just writing it down. like, and taking notes, because I go back and read through things, and things that maybe, I don't know, think about it over the next couple of days. A lot of times on these calls, there's like a lot of information at one time, and it's like late in the day, and like, I don't know, it takes me a while for it to like really sink in, I guess. I don't know.
This is recorded. So if you need the
I
recording,
recommend.
I'm going to upload it to YouTube. So that way we can share this as well with people that aren't here. But I can tell you this, the fact that you guys are here puts you leaps and bounds ahead of everyone else that just didn't show up for whatever reason, because we have the statistics that show that the women that get on these calls are the ones that get the better results faster and keep them. I mean, I talked to a client from 3 years ago the other day that's writing a book right now, and she was like, hey, some of the stuff that you've told me is going in this book. I'm giving you credit. I'm like, okay, that's awesome. And I checked in on her. She was like, everything's great. Like, I'm maintaining, like, this is perfect. Like, this changed my life. At our wedding, I had a ex-client come up to me and said, thank you for saving my life. I thought that was, wow. You know, I never really got into this to save people's life. I got into this really just because I was sick of all the junk out there. And I knew that, like, this is a simple process, but people like these amateurs are running around and they're making something simple as complex as possible so they can look smart. I don't really have a problem using simple words, simple language, breaking things down in the simplest form possible, if it makes sense and it actually gets people results. So not only are we talking to everyone that's on here, but everyone that's not on here. Everyone in the group is going to get a link to this call, certainly. Carmen, are you on? Are you just podcast style tonight?
I'm on. I'm just listening tonight.
All right. Everyone, welcome Carmen. She's known me for years, and she finally pulled the trigger.
Hello. Hey,
Hi.
Carmen.
Hi, thank you.
So good to talk to you and hear your voice.
Hey, Brandy, was that helpful?
Yes, very much.
All right. So what do you guys want more as far as like food wise? I'll pull up another like list of options for dinner, lunch, snacks. What do you guys prefer the most? Lord knows we know how to make a mean low calorie cheeseburger.
No joke. We eat like 2 cheeseburgers and fries at a time, and it's only like a few hundred calories.
We've
Or you can make it a double cheeseburger. Yeah.
we've cracked the code. Right, the first time that Rachel had a burger that I made, she's like, "This tastes like McDonald's." I was like, "You know what? Most people will be offended by that, but I'm actually, hey, thank you."
I meant it in the most complimentary way possible.
But yeah, you don't have to slog down protein shakes. You don't have to slog down food that you don't enjoy. My favorite protein shake is chicken. At this point in my life, I'll bake with protein, or something like that, but I would much rather just eat it. Except the Fairlife. Fairlife, 150 calories, 30 grams of protein. How can I say no?
Yeah, those are really good.
And most people on this call, that
Just
hits
saying, you
a quarter of your protein goal.
I'm gonna go to Sam's and get some this weekend.
Yeah.
I already like their milk, so I'm sure that protein
get
shakes.
yourself a Ninja Creamy while you're there. You can turn it into.
Oh, that's a good point. I'll check it out.
And the Fairlife, like there's a Core Power that's a lot more calories. Go for the Fairlife that's like the 130 calories or something. It tastes
Yeah,
better and it's not as many calories.
Yeah, I was gonna say I've had the Core Power ones before, and I don't really like them.
Yeah, Fairlife is way. I feel like
They're
it's
thick.
a little bit better.
Core Power Elite's pretty good. I think it has like 42 grams of protein in it for like 230 calories. I don't know.
Oh, the Elite?
I've had it in chocolate. It's not bad.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I mean, protein, you need to get.
I'll get something together for like dinners. You guys just tell me what you're looking for and drop it in the group.
Hey, Joel, can you put in the Sir Tuna recipe in there?
Sir Tuna. Carmen saw me eating something one time, and she was like, "What is that?" I said, "Sir Tuna," and it's sriracha and tuna. And she's like, "Oh, I'm gonna go get some of that." So she was literally going to the store looking up Sir Tuna. It's like, it's tuna. I just squeezed some sriracha in it. It's good too. Hey, tuna in a bag, on the run, on the go. Tuna in a bag. It's where to be. Yeah.
They sell chicken like that now too. No, I've not tried it, but like those little pouches
Oh, the chicken in the pouch.
that you do for tuna. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like you can get like wing flavors in it. I bought it and then I never got to try it because I gave it to my mom when she's like, when I hit like protein targets and she was struggling hard with the hospital food. So I took them to her. I haven't had it.
Yeah, I'll put together a. We've got one somewhere. I know I've got it in a drive folder somewhere. I'll just post it in the group. For anyone that has any questions about food, if you look up the word food or protein in the group and do a search, you will find a boatload of information. I can say this. I just tried the sugar-free Oikos. They have a banana Foster and a cookies and cream. I wasn't a huge fan of it. It's kind of runny. It's like a soup. It's not really how I want my yogurt to be. So I threw it in the freezer. That helped a little bit, but yeah. Just know if you see it and want to give it a shot, I warned you.
Greek yogurt, no thanks.
All right. Speaking of overachievers, Brooke, Carmen jumped ahead a week, got into the Lux app, and has already finished her first lower body workout. She's a week ahead of schedule.
Well, I have a goal, Joel. I'm trying to get there. You know, I got only a month to go before I need to be in the bikini.
Yep, we're gonna be aggressive. Get comfy with those power foods.
Okay.
Get comfy. All right, y'all. If you need anything, let me know. Reach out. If this was helpful, definitely drop a comment in the group and get some people buzzing about it because they missed out. But I will definitely download this and upload it to YouTube tomorrow. We also have I'll post this in the group as well. Like we also have a ton of these calls in the challenge calls of our YouTube channel as well. I'll share that with you guys too. All right. I believe that's it. Thank you
Thanks.
guys for coming to my TED
This was
Talk,
awesome. Bye, you guys.
and we will
Bye.
see you next week.